Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the invisible weight you carry on your shoulders. It's the worries, the resentments, the old hurts. A weight that drains your energy and clouds your days without you even noticing. But have you ever stopped to think about where this burden comes from? And more importantly, how would it feel if, suddenly, it disappeared? Forgiveness is the key. Not just for those who have hurt you, but for yourself. Because the true act of forgiveness doesn't free the other person, it frees yourself. Let's explore the quiet, transformative power of forgiveness. Let's dive into the deep impact it can have on your life and your mind. No matter how strong the current of pain that binds you, there is a way to break free. Are you ready to walk this path? Because forgiveness is the only path to freedom. Imagine living with a constant weight. A burden that follows you from the moment you open your eyes until the instant you try to rest your mind at night. This weight is made up of your worries, the regrets that never leave your thoughts, the wounds that never healed. Worries are like invisible chains. They tie you to the past, to fears of the future, to mistakes you can't seem to fix. And the more you hold on to them, the harder it is to move forward. Anxiety grows, fear sets in, and suddenly you find yourself trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. But the truth is, many of these worries are unnecessary. They are echoes of past pains, fed by a lack of forgiveness, whether towards others or yourself. Every grudge we hold on to prevents us from experiencing peace, from feeling the lightness of living in the present without the weight of the past. You might think you need to control everything, solve everything, carry everything on your own. But the reality is that without forgiveness, these worries never end. They only grow. Forgiving is not forgetting what happened. Forgiving is accepting that you cannot change the past, and that moving forward is the only way. So, I ask you, what weight are you carrying that it's long past time to let go? Forgiveness. Such a simple word, yet it carries an almost unfathomable depth. Many believe that forgiving is a sign of weakness, that forgiving means giving in, giving power to the other. But the truth is that forgiveness is, in fact, one of the greatest acts of strength a human being can perform. Forgiving is not about the other person. It's not about justifying, accepting, or erasing what was done. Forgiving is, essentially, about freeing yourself. When you forgive, you remove the invisible chains that keep your heart and mind tied to the past, to wounds, to pain. Forgiveness is an internal, deep process that requires courage. It's not about erasing the mistake or pretending it never existed. It's about acknowledging the pain, facing the scars, but deciding that they no longer define who you are. The Bible teaches us that, in forgiving, we resemble something greater, a force that transcends the simple human act. Forgiveness is divine, but it is also profoundly human. To forgive is to recognize that we all make mistakes, we all fall, but we all also have the ability to get up and move on. Forgiveness is not about justice. It's about peace. Inner peace, peace with your own story. And true peace only comes when you stop feeding on resentment, anger, and anguish. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it completely transforms the future. Imagine a locked door inside of you. Behind it, all your hurts, all the times you were hurt, wronged, forgotten. Every grudge you've held is a key thrown away. And over the years, those hurts pile up, building an impenetrable wall around your peace. Forgiveness is the only key capable of unlocking that door. It's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. The process of forgiveness can be painful because it requires you to revisit your wounds, to face the scars you tried to hide. But it is also the safest path to liberation. When we forgive, we break the cycle of pain. We stop mentally reliving what hurt us and, instead, we begin to breathe freely. Forgiving is accepting that we don't have control over what happened, but we have full control over how we deal with it from now on. Freedom comes and you decide to let go of the rope that binds you to that suffering. And when you let go, you realize that the only one who was being strangled by that pain was you. Forgiveness is not for the benefit of the one who hurt you. It's for you. Freeing yourself from the worries and the hurts accumulated over the years is like shedding a heavy armor that no longer has a purpose. The relief is immediate, the peace is lasting. It's time to open that door and free yourself from the invisible prison you've created. Forgiving is not a favor we do for others. In reality, it's the greatest gift we can offer ourselves. When we hold on to resentment, we allow the pain of the past to continue defining us. We hold on to grudges as if they were shields, but in truth, they become walls that isolate us from fully living. Forgiveness, however, is an act of self-love. It is an acknowledgement that you deserve peace, that you deserve to be free from the emotional chains that keep you trapped in a cycle of pain. Forgiving is taking care of yourself. It's choosing not to carry the weight of hatred, resentment, and anguish anymore. How many times do we punish ourselves for the mistakes others made? We carry burdens that aren't even ours, allowing others' negativity to invade our inner space. But when we forgive, we tell ourselves, I deserve to move forward. I deserve to be free. Forgiveness transforms. It creates space for love, for compassion, and, above all, for healing. It reminds us that we are worthy of a life of serenity, no matter what we've been through. It is a process, yes. A slow process, and sometimes painful. But it is also a path of internal reconciliation, where you learn to treat your soul with the respect and kindness it deserves. Forgiveness is essentially a sign that you love yourself enough not to allow pain to control your life. So, the question is, are you ready for this act of self-love? When we decide to forgive, something profound begins to happen inside of us. Forgiveness is like a renewal. It's not just the release of pain, but also the beginning of an internal reconstruction process. Imagine your mind and heart as a house that, over the years, has suffered damage. Each resentment, each hurt, was like an earthquake that shook its foundations. At first, you try to ignore the cracks, trying to move on as if nothing had happened. But eventually, these wounds start to affect everything around you. They impact your relationships, your peace, and even your vision of the future. Forgiving is starting to repair those foundations. It's not a superficial renovation, but a rebuilding from the ground up. By forgiving, you acknowledge that something was destroyed, but you also recognize that you are capable of rebuilding. Forgiving is giving yourself permission to grow from the pain, to transform scars into memories of overcoming, instead of memories of weakness. This rebuilding process doesn't mean you'll forget what happened. The scars will be there, but instead of seeing them as reminders of destruction, you'll see them as marks of strength. Each time you forgive, you rebuild a part of yourself that was shaken. And with each step on this path, peace becomes more tangible. Not the fragile peace that can be shattered by any painful memory, but a deep peace, rooted in the certainty that you survived, and that now you are stronger, more resilient. Forgiveness is the cornerstone of this new internal construction. And it will be stronger, more beautiful than before. There's a common misconception that causes many to resist forgiveness, the belief that to forgive is to forget. But forgiveness was never about erasing the past. The scars, the memories, all of that will still be there. Forgiving is not pretending that nothing happened, it's not denying the pain that was caused. True forgiveness is the conscious decision not to let the past define your future. It is an active choice not to carry the weight of resentment any longer, not to constantly relive the wound. You acknowledge what happened, but decide that it will no longer have control over you. Jesus taught us to forgive not 7 times, but 70 times 7. He knew that forgiveness is an ongoing process, that it doesn't happen all at once, but requires practice, effort, and, above all, a deep desire to be free. It's not an easy path, but it's the only path to true peace. To forgive is to overcome, to grow from pain. It's learning to deal with the scars in a healthy way, without letting them dominate your mind and heart. By forgiving, you don't forget, but you stop living in the past. You move into the present, where the opportunities for growth, love, and renewal await you. There's no way to erase what was done, but there is power in overcoming. Forgiveness is the sign that, even in the face of pain, you choose to move forward with dignity and strength. And in doing so, you not only heal yourself, but you also transform the way you see the world. Forgiveness is the key to overcoming what once seemed insurmountable. In the end, when the pain has been faced and forgiveness has been given, what remains is something that few truly experience: peace. But not just any peace. It's a deep, unshakable peace that comes from freedom. A peace that comes from within, from a place where forgiveness has already done its work of healing and rebuilding. This peace doesn't depend on external circumstances, it isn't tied to what others do or fail to do. It is a state of mind, a quietness that arises when you finally release the chains of resentment, anger, and worries that kept you bound. Remember, forgiveness is not for others. They may never understand, never regret, never apologize. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you, in forgiving, free yourself from a prison built by your own emotions. And in that freedom, you find peace. The peace that comes with forgiveness is transformative. It allows you to look at the world and at yourself with more compassion, with more clarity. Forgiveness purifies. It cleans the open wounds and heals what once seemed impossible to cure. And in the silence of this peace, you will find something even greater, the strength to move forward, to live a life that is not defined by suffering, but by freedom, love, and serenity. So, close your eyes once more and take a deep breath. Feel the weight of resentment leaving your body, your mind, your heart. Let forgiveness set you free, and allow yourself to live in the true peace that it brings. Now, are you ready for this journey? Because forgiveness is not the end. It is only the beginning of a life waiting to be lived to its fullest. If this message resonated with you and if you are looking for more profound reflections like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, you'll find daily messages that can transform the way you see the world and yourself. Join us on this journey of reflection and self-discovery. And, of course, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos.